Hi, boys and girls. This is Old Man Yells at Cloud for Blue Powder Monkeys Patreon, working on the Norwescon. We're in the final stretch. After some back and forth, I think I got these pro bios the way that they are going to be. And now I get to go through and squish them all together. There were several that were removed and some that I didn't do near the end of it because I realized the italics thing, if you've been following that, took precedence over their placement so far. There's going to be this. There's going to be a staff page with all the staff that I'll need to do, which I probably won't get to tonight. And then there'll be a final pass where I go through and correct all the italics mistakes that I made. All right, hold on just a sec. Realized I had a little extra light coming into the side. Got to look all dark and moody. And had some wash going, so that's making a sound. So the idea is going to be to move these things where they need to go. And then, as you notice on the rest of the stuff, we've got this, oh, you can't see my finger. We've got this Norwescon kind of logo turned into shapes on the side. And I'm going to change that into something that probably reads like pro biographies or professional panelists or something. I don't know, I'll figure it out. And I'll do that. But that'll be kind of the end because that'll be sort of the fun part. This is the less fun part, just the moving things around. So, turn on my music, which for a change is going to be Johan Johansson, who was a composer who passed away a few years ago in those mid-30s. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. He did the soundtracks for Arrival, Sicario, Mandy, a bunch of cool stuff. I was actually looking forward to seeing this guy have like a full career, and unfortunately he didn't. But he did a non-soundtrack album called Orphee maybe? Orphee, and the first E has like a little doodad above it. Anyway, and it's generally just sort of orchestra music. They've used at least one or two of these for film stuff. Flight from the City, I think, was used in something, which is the first track here. But it's kind of mellow piano and probably some synth stuff because I think he was a acolyte, for lack of a better term, for Hans Zimmer. So there's been several of those that have kind of went on to do their own career. There's a lady whose name I forget that does some pretty cool music stuff, and that's somewhat unusual because there aren't a lot of women in film composing right now for no fucking real reason except the normal. Let's see. Oops. Sorry, I'm making sure there's nothing prevalent in the email here. I hate working on a thing for an hour and then checking my email and there's something that affects my zen. So that looks all caught up. And the stream is going because internet's cool, whatever. All right, so this page looks fine. I had a few of these up above the line, and I realized I'm going to try to stuff them all down. And I was smart, although that would be a huge pain in the ass. I would try to get this one all on one, like everyone else. I think it will literally be the only biography that does this. But I'm okay with that because it sort of reinforces the reading direction. There might be some person kind of not paying attention that kind of goes from here to here, which is fine, right? Because they're all self-contained, alphabetical or whatever. But hopefully this will sort of train the eye to be like, oh, I need to go down and do this if I want to read them in order for whatever reason, which again, you don't really have to. But whoops. Some of the later ones I ungrouped and they were easier to work individually. The general thing will be to try to line them up in a perfect world on these grids, these three-way grids that I already made. They're not going to do that hardly at all, but that'll be one thing to shoot. But the main thing is going to be the photograph, even with the bottom line of text here. 3, 6, 7. Title, 7 lines of text, because there's some that have less lines than even fill out the photograph and all that, and they'll have to be spaced in right. We can move up A.W. McCullough here a little bit. And while I could potentially squeeze in another line of text, I do want to bump this line down one, so let's try that out. This is going to be a decent amount of, I don't want to say micromanaging, but just the kind of management you do when you're doing typography stuff. All right, so we got a line on the bottom. That enables me to knock this. Nope. Go. There we go. That's a separate text block inside of a clipping path, which was a huge pain in the ass to figure out. All right, so there we go. And then to keep the spacing equal, I'm going to bump this one up, even though, there we go, even though there's space down below here. There we go. It keeps everything nice and even. And it looks nice and tight. And then I'll probably put like a little color bars or something in here to kind of just fill the space for fun. There's not enough room to even start this, and I'm again not going to do the text flowing thing because these are all self-contained objects, and that would be a nightmare. A dream for some, a nightmare for others. So there. Alexander James Adams of the long name. He was my example for how to do three names in the space that I wanted to do. Actually, he might be the example. Like I could leave the space here by putting him on the pre-made grid lines that I have here, and that's not horrible. Definitely looks a little weird unless I even this out this way. It's either bump there or bump there. There's not really a, yeah, there's not really an even way to do it. So Alex stays there. James gets a little space. Otherwise, just for fun, we do that. It's probably better in the long run, right? And then that lines up, and then that lines up. All right, cool. And then Amanda, Glorious Amanda, will not fit in this little space. She cannot be contained. So she's fine here. Yeah, here's one that doesn't even make it to the bottom of the picture. So I kind of just have to make sure that the spacing is still the same, though, which is right about in here. Then I have to just eyeball about where the thing would go, about in there. It goes there. It's a little bump. Yeah, and that'll leave most of the space at the bottom where it belongs, so that'll be fine. Fortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to squeeze Anne with the no E. Yeah, that's way too much space there. So we'll just leave that there. And then we'll move Ari up. Talk about these people like I know them, using their first names, although I do know Ari. So there's that. So that's that. These ones look pretty good. I don't like this little, these are called widows or orphans. This one's not horrible because the word is fairly long, but we're going to go ahead and see if that, yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Theater arts is fine. I'm not going to be able to catch all of these. I guess I should kind of be on that alert because this really is the thing where I can be, it's like I'm making no more fucking content changes or any of that. So it's like, this is it. So I can really start digging into the details. So the other thing I can do is just come up and do that. And that works good. And then Ari gets to go up another space here. Oop. Sorry, dear. There we go. Ari is an awesome actor and improv artist. Yeah, so that's not going to work at all. Oh, that's not going to work at all either. Let's go up to the top of that. I used to back in the day, like I think the first time I did this, maybe I went through and like very mildly edited the biographies, which probably wasn't cool, but I didn't know any better at the time, just to kind of get rid of the widow orphan thing. And it's all dependent on how I set up my grid, right? Like I could set up a completely different grid of 3 columns, for example, and different ones would be widowed and orphaned. It's easier when the text flows. Oh, what's going on here? I don't know what that is. Somebody just stuck a freaking ad in the middle of this thing. It's weird. I can't get rid of it. It's 57 minutes too. I'm trying to trick somebody into like listening to the thing. Oh, it's horrible. People are awful. Does my phone want nothing? Oh, god dang it. I like Blue Sky, but I've got it set where sometimes when I hit my double tap to shut the screen off, it freaking clicks on the Blue Sky app instead and opens it up. And I'm not doing any social media nowadays. So it's like, god damn it, gotta close that up. I started back in the early days of like the beginnings of Facebook in the 2000s or whatever, and it was like, hey, this social media stuff is going to be the coolest thing ever. And then it just turned out to be the most nightmarish thing ever. So that's a little crowded, but I'm okay with that because we're a little cramped for space. What's going on? Oh, this is the lock. So Brian, I think, is okay on that bottom line there. He'll be all right. And Bridget Winter is not fitting there. However, Brianna, we'll try to get her a little smaller here. There. Awesome. Still not room for Bridget, but better. Right, and speaking of Bridget, she also has some hanging stuff here. Let's see if we can. Oh, perfect. Now, does she fit up there? Oh, maybe. maybe I should group all of her shit together so that I can move it all at once. Not that. Oh, this one I think I've heard before too. Yeah, that works out fine. And that makes Brian seem a little more natural. It's a little tight to the edge too, but that's just the way it's going to be. And then we obviously, whoop, there's a grouped one. Obviously we lost somebody in here somewhere, probably. Well, I guess we just lost Bridget. Now, that works okay. I don't want to make a habit of this, though. So I think... Well... Do I want to make a habit of it? Ah, stupid grouping. There we go. You're seeing the text do weird flow things because I've got text wrap on the photographs. So every once in a while, one of the photographs is like, I'm just gonna fuck with everything around me. Because that's what you asked for. And it's like, well, I did technically ask for that, so good job. All right, so that actually worked out okay, because I don't think I could have fit Karen over here. And that's all good. Okay. Oh, and then here, for example, is Carol, who's up above the line, which I don't want anymore. That to me bothers me a little bit more than the down below there. All right, and then Kathy. Okay, that's good. Then we can get Celeste. Never known anyone named Celeste. May end up gaining like half a page or something, which will be good because I still have some ads I need to place. Nice. Yeah, when they're all grouped together and they're done right, they just slide as a block and I don't have to do any adjustment to them, which is cool. Yeah, this one's a little weird. There we go. Oh, two linked together. Let's grab that one. All right, and then I knew a Clay who was in the military, but I don't think it's this person. But that said Crazy Joe for a second, but it's Cozy Joe. Crystal. There we go. Another crystal. Personally, I don't know. Well, I kind of do know, but I don't know why these are alphabetized. I think they've been alphabetized by first name forever, and maybe that's easier for people to find. But the way that I import them for now with cell spreadsheet is the base, you could put the first and last names in different cells and alphabetize however you wanted. That may be a next year thing or a never thing. Good typography always recognizes double spaces, which are archaic. Old double space typewriter thing that the old guys do. Maybe the old ladies too, I don't know. Perfect. Oh. Perfect. And oh, that is not right. Those of you that have watched even 2 of these things, this being your second, finally got my new reading glasses, which is very exciting. I can see a lot better. These ones are like $30-ish. I was talking about them a couple days ago. They have the nice, if it's not glass, it's pretty hardcore plastic, but I think it is glass. And then the metal frames, unlike the drugstore models. And they're not that much more. They're like $30, and the drugstore ones are like 20 a lot of times. At least where I'm from. All right, can we fit Diana over here? Yeah. Job. All right. And everything's lined up there. Cool. That's me. Just going to change my bio a little bit. Shorten it. There we go. I don't think anyone cares how long I've been coming to Norwescon. Yeah, see, this is another case where I could move this one down and have it lined up with the grid, but I'm not going to force that. It happens, it happens. All right, and I don't think Sean Robinson's going to fit. No, not even close. That'll be another thing for a little piece of spot art or a color block or something. I did a lot of, those of you that have been kind of watching, I did a lot of color blocks with some of the pro layout or the guest of honor layouts and all that. So having little squares of color everywhere is going to be perfectly cromulent. There we go. Do a little save that I haven't done in a while. Oh, yep. Edward. Edward's a filmmaking buddy of mine. We've known each other for 25 or 30 years, probably. Now we're on the same page. Which rarely happens in real life. Haha. Go. This is another one that I'm going to have to just guesstimate. It's going to be right about in there. 2 lines of text, actually. It's good enough. As long as I have room for Ellis here. which I do. Okay, good. So exciting when I get near the end. I have a graphic novel project that I'm going to be working on after this. Not today, I mean after this project. Some of that may end up on this Old Man Yells at Cloud channel, but if you're interested in my other graphic design stuff, then that's definitely the Blue Powder Monkeys Patreon, which you can join for free and get some stuff. And then I think the monthly cost is pretty low. It's like $3 or something. I'm taking some of the old, I did a lot of short screenplays, and right before COVID, we had like 4 short films we were going to do. And then COVID shut all that down, and then I moved, and I just haven't looked around for any sort of film community down where I'm at now, though I'm sure it exists. And it's a lot of work, kind of just almost starting from scratch, I guess, in a way. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just do some graphic novels, because my background, my original art background was comic book stuff. I went to the Joe Kubert School of Cartooning back in the day. I didn't graduate, but I went there for a year. And comics was what I originally wanted to do before I got into graphic design and filmmaking stuff. So I'm like, I can teach myself Blender, which is a 3D piece of software that's usually used for animation and game design and that kind of stuff. But you can do animatics, previs stuff in it, and then you can do comics in it. Or you can at least, you know, what I'm doing is designing the sets, setting up the camera, and then exporting into Clip Studio Pro, which is a manga program that's been around forever, as far as I know. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can shrink up Gabrielle here. So yeah, I'm going to be taking one of those. No, oh, 2, really? So yeah, I'm going to be taking one of my short scripts. It all takes, uh-oh. What did I do there? That was awesome. It all takes place in one room, so it's going to be relatively easy. I just had to build this very complicated bedroom where this woman is dying of cancer and gets visited by a stranger. Yep. Yep. And then basically just figure out how to kind of camera angles I want and all that, and export it into Clip Studio Pro, and then just paint over the top of it. That's going to be a process, man, figuring out what kind of art style I want in that. Because I can export stuff. I've learned how to use a lot of the lighting and stuff in Premiere or in Blender, and you can make stuff look pretty realistic. So it's like, I don't know how much of this actual lighting I want to use, or whether or not I want to make it sort of more comic book illustrative. I don't know. I've been saying Geneva, but it might be Geneva. I haven't gotten a straight answer on that yet. Hopefully I'm going to meet her. That's the first thing I'll ask. She's the artist guest of honor. And her art stuff has been awesome to work with. Hopefully she likes the program. Not that my self-worth is reliant on strangers, but it's always nice to do work and have people like the work, especially when they're such an integral part of it. All right, well, Gloria, I don't think I have this and late diagnosed. I'm assuming that dash is intentional. So yeah, we're just going to leave her alone. She gets to have the widow slash orphan all to herself. So many authors in this thing too, which Norwescon's always been more of a writing convention than anything else. It always inspires me to do more writing. I haven't worked on a screenplay for months, it feels like. I think since before my mom passed in October. At that point, I did a pilot, which I'd never done before. I'd done either short film scripts or feature length films that I knew I wasn't ever going to film, but I would try to sell. But I have written prose. I don't know if I'm any good at it. I'm pretty good at screenplay writing. Finished pretty high up in some contests and whatnot. It's definitely a different thing. Like you can't. It's not the same process, not the same storytelling process, because there have been writers that have definitely tried to like adapt their own stuff and it's turned out not very good. The lady that wrote Gone Girl did a really good job with that. And John Irving, who's probably one of my favorite authors, who's won all kinds of stuff, ended up getting an Oscar for Cider House Rules, I think was. The structure is different. And writers, like a lot of artists, like most artists, honestly, get real precious about their vision. And so it's hard sometimes because you can't take, Irving especially, like it's a fucking 1,000-page book or whatever, and he like crushed it down to a 2.5-hour movie or whatever it was. The lady that did Gone Girl, who I'm going to look her up because I've talked about her like 6 times. And I keep forgetting her goddamn name. Gillian Flynn. Sorry about that, Miss Flynn, if you if you somehow ever see this. She did a great job with Gone Girl. And so far, one of her other books, I think she's the main writer on Sharp Objects, which was on HBO. And that's been pretty good so far, too. It's a testament to that. That's a tough book. I think Dark Places might be a little tougher. Weirdly, Gone Girl is like the most quote-unquote pleasant of her books that I've read. Quote-unquote. It's not, they're not really supposed to be pleasant as much, but Sharp Objects was tough. And Dark Places was really tough. But Sharp Objects is a mini-series, so she's taken that book and turned it into a mini-series, and the mini-series is kind of a hard watch in a good way, right? It's like you can't really binge watch something that is kind of meant to be, I don't want to say miserable, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like trying to binge watch True Detective season 1 or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's really good, but you got to take a break every once in a while. There's only so many. You know what? I'm going to let Jason Bond have his cake and eat it too. He can have a little bit of it. It's fine. I don't want to squish up his whole biography. I know both the Jeffs here too. Jeff Sturgeon submits a lot of artwork to Norwescon. I've used him in the, I think he's got a piece in this actually. Maybe 2. And then Jeff Krebs I knew at Wizards when I worked at Wizards. Oh, and actually I worked at ArenaNet for a minute and a half. And he was there, I think, when I worked there. All those guys were all those people, men and women alike, were exploded when Hasbro bought them out. And like all good big companies, they wanted to cut costs and trim staff. So a whole bunch of people got laid off. A whole bunch of people got bonuses. A whole bunch of people got to cash in stock that they may or may not, or they may have had. And then rounds and rounds of layoffs came, like what always happens. So there's a whole bunch of guys that went on to do other things. Eric Mona going over and starting up Paizo. Monty Cook obviously did pretty well for himself. What's Chris's name? Can't remember now. My buddy Corey Herndon, who was an editor at maybe Duelist and something else that Wizards did. This might be a four pack. No. Caitlin is pretty long. Well, she's not. She's normal length. They have like 300 words. I don't think anybody got anywhere close to the full length that they could have taken. All right. Kaylee, I don't think you're going to fit there. Well, maybe. What's interesting, she has a doctor here, but she doesn't have a doctor in her name. I wonder if that's an oversight. Otherwise, she would have been alphabetized with the D's, which was another thing that I thought was kind of dumb. I was like, come on, people. How was that wider than that? Did I just put it in the wrong spot? I just put it in the wrong spot. Oh, it does fit. You are a champion, Kaylee. Good job. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This thing is coming together. That looks okay. That's right. The little blue lines confuse me sometimes. I'm not sure why I even leave them on, but I do. I think I tried to shrink up Chris's thing and it didn't work. Let's try it again. Her stupid love for the Beatles. Oh, I can do two. That's not great. 1, 2, 1, 2. Up here somewhere. Oh. All right, that helps a little bit. Star Wars might fit on the next line there. It does. Okay, so that's not too bad. The middle is a little teensy bit squished, but no one will notice. Except for you guys, you'll be like, oh, that looks so squished. What is that idiot doing? I don't think I have room. Nope. All right. LA Wind Sun here too. I wouldn't mind trying to get that up into here, but it's not gonna. Yeah, it's pretty clever, so leave that alone. I'm gonna gain a column? Nope. Oh, there's one that matches up. Good job, Laura. Let's go to here. would have started from the back part of this, the end. I guess I could have potentially saved the space in front and then made like a nice little title page or whatever, but that ship has sailed. Oh, that worked out pretty well. Oh, Lizzie. Oh, that's right. I had to ungroup Lizzie because she had a new photograph she wanted to be. Which I'm happy to do. I know how awkward it is when you get a new photo and then you see something with the old photo and you're like, Plus, I appreciate people that update their photos. It's always kind of strange to meet somebody and they're like 20 years older than their press photo or whatever. Happens a lot with actors' headshots, actually. Call people in that think that they, and acting, unfortunately, at least initially, on the level I was doing it at, right? You're just calling people to come in and audition or whatever. And your initial factor is looks, right? It's like, do they look right for the part? Because it's a visual medium. And then they come in and they look completely different than their headshot. And you're like, oh, I hope I didn't waste a bunch of time here. That's when you hope that they're good actors, because then you can find use for them whenever. It's also, I think, different I'm guessing in theater because you're so far back. And that's what a lot of them were, theater actors, because theater actors in general, I liked working with a little better than people that were just trained in film. But, you're so far back in the theater that, makeup and wigs and whatnot do the Lord's work as far as making you look the part. But film is the opposite, right? I mean, that camera is like right up in your face. Let's see if we can squeeze up Hanscom's thing here. He's part of the Norwescon crew. I've been working with him on a couple of things, which have been fun because he's a good dude. Michelle. Doink. It's mostly piano and strings, this music. I don't have any problem with that. Oh, look at this perfect fucking block. Michelle lays off. Min, Miranda, they all are fitting in the exact, like they all did the perfect word count to fit in the actual boxes that I created. It's awesome. You guys are the winner. Gold star. Oh, gonna do it again? No. It was a little long there. It's okay though. Looking at this thing at an angle sometimes kind of messes me up. Oh, perfect. Still, the night is young. You might get to see some actual creative work at the end of this. I mean, this is creative in a certain way, I guess. That's the one thing about good graphic designers, anyways, you can't really be precious about your work. Like, I've heard it been called, one of my teachers, in fact, called it garbage art because most of the time people are just buying a piece of packaging and then throwing it away. So that would be okay. It's possible that Nick's photo will get cut off here, though, and that's not cool. Or, you know, it'll be awkward to the thing, and I don't really need the space that badly, so we'll just start him off here. But yeah, you're designing something, somebody buys it, rips the package off of it, uses the thing. Occasionally they care about how pretty the packaging is, but that's not the usual. And it's almost, not always, but almost entirely profit driven, as opposed to like, oh, you know, I need to make a statement or do a thing with my art or brah. It's like, I need to get paid for designing somebody's logo, or I need to get some sort of recompense. So, oh, the client wants this thing a different way. Well, if they're paying enough and I have enough time based on the deadline, then they get what they want, even if it's not great. I let them know. I'd be like, hey, this isn't going to do what you think it's going to do or work the way you want it to work. But if you really want it that way, I'm here for you. It's part of the reason that I'm going to enjoy doing the graphic novel project, because that's my thing. I get to do it however I want. One of the other reasons I may try to use more of the Blender exports than my own art is, one, I haven't done a ton of art in a while, so I don't know how rusty my drawing skills are. But the other thing is every single, well, not every single, a lot of artists I know think that they can do graphic design, and a lot of graphic designers think that they know how to illustrate. And in the vast majority of the cases, they do not. They are two very different functions, disciplines, and it's very rare to find that magical unicorn that can do both. There's an artist named Lee Moyer who's done a lot of convention stuff. You guys may know. He is pretty good at both. Maybe one of the better people that I know that are good at both. But he might be the only one that I know that's good at both as well. They're just different ways of thinking about conveying information. And being an artist is my, at least, third best thing. Like, I am a pretty good graphic designer, and I'm a pretty good writer. And back in the day, I was a pretty good football player. Not like college pro level, not elite, but a lot of the rec leagues and all the rest of that stuff is pretty good. And then maybe art. Good over there? Okay, cool. Ryan. I've worked with Ryan on a bunch of film stuff. He has worked with Edward, who I mentioned before, and with me and Edward and I. I have gained a page. That is fucking awesome. Fortunately, I can't delete. I mean, I could delete one page, but I think it'll cause some fucking havoc. I could try it, I guess, just for an experiment. I can always undo. Let's see what happens when I zap a page out here. I think it's going to cause everything to go fucking weird, but come on. What happened? Oh, it didn't go weird. Kick ass. Used to know Sean when he worked at Wizards and a little bit after that too. I haven't seen him in a long time though. Maybe hopefully I'll run into him. Say hi again. I wish this. I think I tried this with Sean already. Oh, it did work. If I did everything. Okay, cool. There we go. Sounds like Liz is upstairs doing boot stuff with her boots. Oh. Bring Sunny up out of the bottom of the page here, which is good. I wonder if I can gain a lot. Is that going to help though? No. It's not going to let me fit in anything else, so there's no reason to do it. Well, visitor? Nope. I feel like that record's got to be just about over. That playlist. Yep, it is. All right. Let's go with some Fiona Apple. Fetch the book. Fiona Apple is one of those artists like, oh, excuse me. That I don't. Definitely not niche, right? But definitely not like the most popular. Oh, what is going on here? But there's a few of those that I like where what their singles are, I don't necessarily like as much as stuff on the album. You go to the album and you're like, oh, wait, these are like super cool, but they're not like mainstream enough or whatever. Why are my page numbers all fucked up? Oh, it's because it's 100. Is that right? this could have the... What is this fucking thing? All right. Let's go. I don't even know what this is. Okay. Now let's get to the bigger issue, which is, are my page numbers fucked? Which direction do I go here? I just changed the page numbers on all of the prose pages. Right on the edge of the fucking page. Right? Yeah. Okay. I might have to do custom page numbers. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Oh, wait, 99's messed up too. Why is 99 messed up? Is there two page numbers overlaying each other? Gosh. No? Okay. Why would 99 get messed up then? It's fine. There's 99, 98, 99. Doesn't it look like there's two? And there's two left? Oh my gosh. There's two page numbers for some reason. What the fuck? Is it over there? Oh, no. Which one is the duplicate, I wonder? All right. Over the top, or over outside the box. Over the top. Not over the top. Okay, so, yeah. Boom. Okay. Oh my God, really? It's just this weird little fucking thing that happened for some reason. That was 101. Okay, so I want that one, but not that one. Done. I don't want that one. Okay. Well, that's a weird little bug. All right, I guess I get to do this for the rest of the thing. So here. Boom. No. And the ones on the left side are unlocked for some reason. Okay, so now we're back to where we need to be. Squish this up. So maybe 2 in here somewhere. See if I can just do the last sentence. Don't think that seems possible. Nope. Gotta get that her on the other line. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Is a writer. I thought there was an artist named Thomas Haw, maybe. Whoa. You get the, yeah. No struggling with that. Way too long. Victoria will fit there. Let's try. Oh yeah. All right. Job. Cool. Okay, now the annoying bit. It's perplexing on 2 levels. The inexplicable duplication, and the fact that one of them is locked and one of them isn't locked. Ugh. Makes me wonder if the colors are locked or the colors are duplicated too. I didn't even check. Oh, this whole thing is italics. That's hilarious. All right, cool. Okay. I'm gonna gain a couple pages out of this actually, which is gonna be great. I might be able to cut 2 more pages and bring the page count for the whole document down. You got to work in multiples of 4, and I'm at I think 112 right now, maybe. Might be able to get it down to 108. All right, and the 7 lawn. That's not going to fit. All right, so let's do this. Let's open this up. No, I still only have one each of the colors, so that's good. And now these ones are locked. Do tell. But these ones aren't. Interesting. Please be saved. Thank you. Okay. And Wolfcat. Give you your own space here. Okay. Shut up. I won't shut up. Kick me under the table all you want. I won't shut up. I won't shut up. Oh, interesting. Take me under the table all you want. I won't shut up. I won't shut up. Get me under the table all you want. Shut up. I won't shut up. What the fuck is this? All you want. I won't shut up. I won't shut up. I won't shut up. The fuck is this? Looks like it's part of that. Interesting. Care about that. Don't care about that. It's this thing? Oh. That's her. Him, her, they, she. All right. There we go. Ooh, that was fun. Under the table all you want. Shut up. Oh, shut up. Under the table all you want. You won't shut up. Oh, shut up. HIJKL. I think it will be easier. There we go. There we go. Okay. Oh, nope. Better. Okay, so now I get rid of 3 fucking pages. I'm down to 108. That is awesome. So let's do this. Can I delete pages? That's cool. Or by cool, I mean not cool at all. Okay, cool. I don't know why I can't delete there, but all right. 108 to Ching. Cool. All right. So as much as I'd want to dig into this and start adding squares and whatnot, we're going to try to mess with the staff pages. Actually, you know what? Because you guys have been so patient, I'll design the little side words that I was going to do here. You. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so now we're going to find last year's book. Professional panelists. All right, let's see how that works. Now, the problem with this is to make these letters as large as I need to. They're going to be very much longer than I need them to be. That might be okay, though. Let's find out. Yeah, it'll probably be all right. I was like, did I actually merge those together or did I? Oh, no. about night that will never be friends. They're the only ones who know. Kissed us. It was his big show. Mm. Making me feel close to you. Making me feel close to you. Makes me feel close to you. Feel close to do. Makes me feel close to you. You're making proud of me. Want it. Glance. Everything about it. Sure that we'll never be friends. And a witness, we're the only ones who know. Kissed us. And it was his big show. And it was his big show. What? And it had a flower in the ground. Interesting. And until now, had to let my life go out. To convince what I knew about it, I will never be friends. And witness, we're the only ones who know. Bottom to top, right? It's reversed. Fuck. It's flipped. You and God, orange ground. Got gown. So come it now to let my light go out. Light go out. And tied like a flowery crown. And now cat ground. To let the light go out. Shoot. That would never be friends. Never be friends. Never be friends. Boom. Let's go. Yep. Okay, so I may have an extra page to mess around with the title when I get this stuff thrown in. So let's do that. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. I have this in like 3 different formats, so I don't know what's going to be easier to put in. This is it. I say my back is now achy. Oh, I forgot about the staff photos. Oh, God. All right, well, let's see how this goes. This last thing may turn out to be the toughest. Oh, go fuck yourself. What is going on? Why? 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 I want that. What's it doing? I'm going to have to do a stupid cut and paste, which is going to screw everything up. All right. Inexplicable nonsense. Probably some weird setting. Oh my God. Microsoft doing Microsoft nonsense. Just open fucking Word. How about that? Oh, she put it in fucking cells. All right. That's not going to help at all. All right. Well, she didn't know. That means I can't use that, basically. Right? Close the stupid window like a dummy. Just copied and pasted probably from the Excel sheet. there a way to remove tables? Oh my God. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Jiminy Christmas. All right, well. Convert to text. Okay. Just convert to text in the layout tab. Okay. What did it say? Layout. Page layout, maybe. Fucking Word. So dumb. I guess I could paste it. And of course it deselected everything because that's what you do because you're fucking dumb. Sorry, let's make it new. New. Blank document. Create. Paste options. Destination. Source formatting. Keep text only. Ah, no. There we go. Excuse me. Why can't I? So it's not going to do it? It's just going to be like, go fuck yourself, buddy. Ugh, fucking bullshit. All right. Why is it not pasting? The fuck? And not copy? Let's try copy. Maybe it's just user error. Nope. Nope. How can... Ah, God. What the fuck? All right. Microsoft, go fuck yourself. You are the worst thing that has ever happened to fucking technology. Oh, good. Okay, so it does know how to paste things now. Ah. Getting closer. Surprised you can't hear this through the speakers. She's gotten very loud. Registration lead. Is that where I started? Oh yeah, I started there. Okay, so let's try this. Head. Try that. Nope, starts with treasurer because go fuck myself. Ah. Is there like a big giant select? Page layout thing. Does it actually have? All right, so obviously the answer to this. All right, select the table, click anywhere on the table you want to remove. Table tools, okay. Layout. Oh, layout over here. Not page layout. Convert to text. Nope. Oh. Okay. Now I get to do each individual fucking table this way, don't I? And these are separated, so they're not in the same. Yeah, no, this isn't going to work. All right. I thought I was going to do something fun or be able to kind of finish up the main thing, and I cannot. So fuck me. All right, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to do a quick email, and then I'll do some little squares and stuff, because that'll be fun and make me not rage. Oh no, did I? Okay, good. see if I can. Let's do this. Oh, maybe I can export it into a PDF. Because the PDF is kind of horrible, but it's not nearly as horrible as what the fuck is going on with this thing right now. Why can't I find? Did I close the document like a dummy? I guess I did. Okay. Oh, can't create a PDF either because Adobe is now fucking me. Oh my god. Save as. Save as. PDF. Let's try that. Ah. Oh. Now, let's try the very tedious, awkward, and shitty process of trying to copy text. Oh, wait, maybe there's something else I can save it. Maybe I can save it plain text. Plain text. Yay. Still starts at treasurer for some reason. That doesn't work either. All right, so now we're back to this. Just as arbitrarily, look at this. Look at this fucking nonsense. It's just arbitrary. Oh, look, I'm going to just do some selection down there. God. I haven't ranted like this in a while. It's actually kind of fun, except that it's fucking costing me a bunch of time that I'd rather be doing other things with. This is going to be some secret gatekeeping bullshit that only if you've used Word or Excel for like fucking 25 years. Single page, rich text. I mean, fucking might as well at this point, right? Hmm? Rich text just means the same fucking thing, it looks like. Okay, cool. I gotta send an email and then I'll get to some fun stuff. What was the other thing I was going to do? I was going to try to do it in Excel. I closed the thing. In my anger, closed the wrong window. All right. Oh no, I don't even have. Oh, I don't even have one in that. So let's do that. Let's do this. Let's go back up here. Try this. Place, right? Okay. Let's throw that in there. All right, let's see what happens here. Nope. Okay. Supposed to come in dark. It didn't. Not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Okay, that's fucked as well. Oh, what happened here? Okay, cool. Let's try just a big old fucking copy and paste. Hey, we're getting somewhere. Okay, okay. So that works, but this isn't the most current one. So that still means I can't do shit. Okay, email has been sent. Now we can do some art stuff. down the old nothing thing that didn't work. Maybe find something mellow. Might have to go back to ELO here. Windows is being particularly shitty. I'm too cranky to remember what there it is, the album title is, even though I've listened to it 100 times in the last bit. Ugh. All right, staff list on hold. It's a boy that had a dream. All right, I need my swatches back. Music played inside my head where I wanted a dream. Milk of the bread. Go up and take some inspiration here. I use circles too, I guess. I gotta redo that too. Whoa, dizzy. Just wanna sing, do you love me, baby? Ah, come on now. Ah. Ugh. Calm down now. There. Are these different sizes? Thank you. Ah. Okay. Won't work as cool as I thought. All right, hold on to your hats because my back is getting achy. Oh. We're gonna do the we're gonna do the sitting part of the standing desk. Oh, that light is bright. There we go. A little bit. Now I gotta go check, make sure you guys are getting your money's worth here. Cool. And sorrow. There we go. Okay, cool. Cool. And for some reason, these three colors aren't on the current thing that I'm doing here. Oh, goodness. Oh, good. Comes to me, the night's gone, when the night's gone. Why wouldn't that possibly? Ugh, thank you. Fly. Just remember, it's alright. It's alright to be true. Sun will shine on you. Just, oops, foolish notions at you. No matter what you do, sun will shine on you. Find it, love it. Try to hear it through. Sun will shine on you. Sun will shine on you. That looks fucking dope. I go mine. You never meet until the next time. Oh. all my life. Oh, excuse me. I'm so glad I found you. Just wanna be around you. There's no color underneath them, so the soft doesn't do anything. Remy. You're too young. Oh, nice. Totally missed one. Yeah, we're back. Oh, shit. Should know. Okay, so now I get to go through and do a whole bunch of little off and onsy things. All right, and that's going to call it good. We're at 10 o'clock. I've gone on way too long, swore way too much. I'll come back tomorrow. Hopefully, have the document I need for the staff pages, and then do some finishing, a bunch of finishing stuff on this. And then I have to clean up this page here. I am not. It might just need like a title thing or something. I'm not loving that. Might be the looks a little weird because of the color palette on this page, but that's the way things are going to go. What's this? Oh, original text. Okay, cool. Off you go. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in and watching me rant.